Let's talk about, probably the next biggest thing in the NBA. The most hype is around Victor Wembanyama, the number one overall pick in the NBA draft. This guy is being hyped up like something we've never seen before. I wasn't following basketball or old enough to be around when like LeBron, that hype was going on when he was entering the league and stuff, but I was around when Zion was entering the league and the hype around that. I have never seen a player be treated like the actual second coming of Jesus Christ more than Victor Wembanyama. Like this, no, like genuinely, and I'm not like saying it in a bad way. Like, I'm not trying to like fault Wembanyama or anything like that. Like it's not him or anything like that. But it is just crazy to me how much a player who he played overseas and stuff, and I have his stats pulled up and everything, which really don't matter in the bigger picture because it's really not based off of what he's done, but what he will do during his time in the NBA. Um, it's incredible how much hype this player is getting before even stepping foot and played a real NBA game yet. He played in the summer league, which had its ups and downs, which I'm sure we'll get to. But I'm interested to hear what you have to say about Wembanyama and just kind of your overall thoughts on the hype levels around him going into it and kind of your expectations. Because I know for me personally, like you don't want to listen to outside noise or anything like that, but Wembanyama knows how hyped up he is and how much pressure is on him and how many eyes are on him. As a player like that, that would kind of like freak me out. Like that would definitely make me nervous, give me, not lack self confidence by any means, but like, when you step out into that court, all eyes are on you and you have to show out. So what do you think of Victor Wembanyama, all this pressure being put on him, and just overall, like your expectations for him? Like, what do you think Victor Wembanyama will become in the NBA?
I mean, there's a lot of things I kind of feel about him. One, like whenever he was drafted, everybody was saying is a hype bigger than LeBron's and yada yada yada. Personally, I'm gonna tell you no for that portion because even though we were super young whenever LeBron came into the league, I remember growing up a Kobe fan, and while people were saying he's projected to be even better than Kobe, I was like, ain't no freaking way. But
Yeah,
LeBron came in, stole the show, did LeBron like things like it's LeBron freaking James, and the hype was ridiculous. He was on the cover of magazines in high school, being
yeah,
given
the
cars in
chosen
high
one,
school.
the chosen one.
Like this, the hype around LeBron was serious, but this Wemby stuff, Wembanyama is definitely a good second place. Like overall, though, I think he'll be fine.
Mhm.
I think even with some of the summer league performances that you alluded to, that game one where he scored like 7 points, whatever it was, had two to
Yeah,
three blocks and like seven
shot
rebounds.
didn't shoot that well first game.
And I'm not even worried about that because I think the harder part to translate to sometimes is the offensive side of the ball. But defense is all instincts and intangibles. So for him to show me that he could contest shots, still block shots, that's what I expect out of a kid that's 7'5" and stepping into the league. So if he can do those things, I'm happy. I'm
Yeah.
satisfied. And I know that Pop and the rest of the Spurs organization probably was too. It takes a real basketball mind to look past the box score. And that's what I think we need to remind fans everywhere that the debut wasn't as shitty as projected as it actually looks,
It's also
just because he shot like
it's also
6 foot.
fucking it's summer league too. Let's just be real here. Like it's also his first ever game playing at
Yeah,
that level too. Like you know how hard it is to adjust from a style of play to NBA. Like it's not an overnight thing. It takes a bit.
it's even new rules that
Yeah.
compared to where he was playing at.
Hmm.
So it's I don't put a lot of stock into summer league, maybe as some do, but like overall, I think he's going to be fine. What I want to see out of him this season again is exactly what I just touched on. Be a good defender. Be a good rim protector. Show me that you can switch on the guards, but if you're going to get beat, that you can get back into the play to make life hard. Like he is super long. He's kind of slow footed, and there is a lot of guards in this league that will definitely attempt to break him down and package him up like some mechanic's lunch. I can see that happen.
He got
But
dunked on in summer league. I don't know. I forgot who it was. Someone dunked on
it
him in
was
summer
Scott
league.
Jones. It was Charlotte.
There
It
you
was,
go. There. Shout out Charlotte. Shout out
but
Charlotte.
hey, I don't mind that because he's contesting a shot, even if you
Right.
get dunked on.
Right.
It happens. Jared Allen gets dunked on all the time, but he's one of the best shot blockers in the league.
Right.
You gotta be willing to contest a shot and
Put your
have the
body on the
cojones
line.
to put yourself in there.
Yep.
Exactly.
No, I'm with you. I the whole like narrative around players in summer league, I think it's people take it too seriously. Like we have a guy like Wembenyama come in. Like I'm not gonna repeat everything that we just said, but you're stepping onto a new court, a new league, new rules, this and that, new players that you've never gone up against before. Of course, it's gonna be an adjustment. Of course, you're not like people expected him to come out and drop like 30 points in the summer league. Like people take summer league a little too seriously. Summer league, you go in, you have an eye test, you don't look at the box scores, you see what they did well, what they did well on, what they didn't do well on, and then you work on that in the off season, in training camp. You get ready for the start of the season. What worries me about Wembenyama, the only thing that really worries me about him is injuries. Now, I'm not saying like he has an injury history or anything like that, but I have just a fear of guys that big in just like a freak thing happening. Like a freak injury, knee injury, leg injury. Like I remember when Kristaps tore his ACL, he was out for over a year because that dude's got a massive ACL. Like when you're that big and you get injured, it takes a little bit to come back from it. Like Chet missed all of last year, his entire rookie year, because of an injury that he had in the Drew League, I believe. Um, that's the only thing about him that really worries me. But it's just like it's something like a freak thing that it's something that's out of your control, right? So I mean, so it's not really it's a fear, but it's not something that's like, oh, I'm worried about him, like how he plays and stuff like that. He's going to be great. I think he'll adjust fine. I think he'll be a rock star in the NBA. I just hope that he stays healthy and can reach that potential. That being said, another thing, because I'm just kind of looking at like stats about him, whatever, it's scary, dude, how young these guys are. This guy was born in 2004. He's six. I'm 6 years older than this guy. Like that's it terrifies me. Besides the point, I think this guy is going to be. I don't want to be that guy that jumps on the hype train or anything like that, but I do think he is going to make a high impact his first year. If he stays healthy, I think he'll make a high impact. I think you're going to see a type of player that we haven't really seen before. A guy at 7'4", 7'5", that's going to be shooting threes. That's going to be bringing the ball up the court potentially on some plays. That's going to be throwing passes behind the back like Magic Johnson. Like we're going to be seeing a type of player that we are used to seeing. So I think that's going to take some people by surprise.
It's a 2K build.
And I'm glad. Amazing segue because I play some 2K and I play like my league and stuff like simulations. Bro, they have this guy like winning MVP like 10 times, like 10 defensive player of the years, 10 MVPs. Like they have that 2K has high expectations for him. I think that he's going to set a tone when he enters the league of just like, that type of player. We're going to see a lot of big men like him in the future come in and be able to chuck up threes and do dribble moves and stuff. He's just going to be the first of its kind. And I think it's going to be great for the NBA. I think, another international player being thrown in, getting more eyes on the league, as well as the Spurs organization. Because I think if Victor does well, you're just opening the door for, potential free agents, trades in the future. I mean, God's sakes, people were saying Damian Lillard might request a trade to San Antonio just because of Wembanyama is there and Greg Popovich and stuff. So he's already like making waves like that. I don't have the highest expectations in the world. His first year, it's his rookie year. Like I'm not expecting him to come out and drop 20 and 10 his rookie year or whatever, but I do think he's going to have a very, very good rookie year if he stays healthy. And I think it'll set the tone for what to expect from him in the future. But I just hope that the guy stays healthy and he has a very injury-free career. That's all I hope for with him.
I mean, can you give me a prediction about his numbers and like what do you foresee him averaging this year in his first season?
Before we get back to the encore action, let me take a minute to tell you about our amazing sponsor, HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Fall is right around the corner, and HelloFresh is here to help you plan for the busy season ahead with tasty dishes delivered to your door. Simply choose your recipes and pick your delivery date. Then lay back and enjoy the last days of summer knowing that dinner is covered. HelloFresh ensures that you get the best picks all season long, delivered straight from the farm to your door in 7 days. And the best part? HelloFresh offers more than just dinner. Stock up on snacks, sides, and more with HelloFresh Market. Over 100 items to choose from. Imagine having free time and enjoying fresh, tasty food with no hassle. And here's a little secret. With 40 recipes to choose from every single week, you'll never run out of exciting dishes to try and love. I speak from experience because I'm usually the one to order takeout on a nightly basis. But with HelloFresh's fast and fresh recipes, ready in just 15 minutes or less, plus 25% cheaper than takeout, it's a win-win. They've got something for everyone, so here's your game-changing offer. Head over to HelloFresh.com/next50, use the code next50 to get 50% off your order plus free shipping. It's too good to pass up. Elevate your summer cooking and enjoy fresh, delicious meals that everyone will love. Thank you, HelloFresh, for sponsoring this position of today's episode. Again, go to HelloFresh.com/next50. Use the code next50 for 50% off your order and free shipping. Back to the episode. His first year in the NBA, I think I can see him averaging like high teens. Maybe he might break past the 20-point mark because if you look at the team around him, I mean, they like you have Keldon Johnson, you have Vassell, you have
Trey Jones.
Jones.
They have
I couldn't think which Jones it was. You have you have some solid pieces. Salton, the guy he has the colored hair. People say it looks like Dennis Rodman.
Oh, Sohan, Jeremy Sohan,
Sohan.
yeah.
Can't always get his name wrong. They have a solid group. But I think he'll still be able to set himself apart and be the leading scorer, one of the leading scorers. I think I'd predict him a little bit right around 20 points per game, 8 or 9 rebounds. I don't want to say he's going to average a double double his rookie year. I think it's possible, but I don't want to say that. I don't want to put that on him. And then two blocks probably. So I'll go 28-2 would be my stat line. And I see him shooting well, 50% from the field. I don't think he's going to be a shark from 3 right away. I can see him shooting like anywhere between like 30-35%. I think he'll have like average shooting numbers. But nothing that's going to be like, oh my God, this guy's coming in shooting 40-45% from 3 his first year. Like, no, nothing like that. I think it'll be fair average numbers.
No, yeah, I get that. I mean, I am interested to see how Pop plays him because he's not your traditional post up big. So like even with him, like you said, him shooting above 50%, like I think that might be a little bit of a reach because I feel like we're gonna see more perimeter shots
Sure.
from him more than like paint touches. Like his two mentors, like Tim Duncan and David Robinson, guys that start in the paint and go inside and out. Maybe they could space it to the mid range area, just because that's the era that they played in.
Right.
But I can see Wemby being more of a fluid guy, like along the perimeter, probably like how Chris Tapps was used.
Sure.
Kind of like a rim runner or a slasher. I'm gonna set the pick. I'm gonna pop out to the corner or to the wings and kind of like wait for production from my guards to kind of set things up for me. If I had to give out some quick numbers, I'm gonna go about 6 points less. I think I'm gonna go 14-15 range.
Okay.
Because I think Keldon Johnson is still gonna be the future weapon for Pop.
Keldon Johnson's a beast. I don't want to downplay Keldon. He's a beast.
Like I am interested. That's probably who I'm looking at as the Spurs' best player right now.
Mm-hmm. No, that's
like
fair.
Wemby over time will obviously supplant him, overtake that spot, whatever. Cool, but I'm seeing like 15, 7 boards because I don't know how he's going to deal with the physicality of box outs and how he's going to fare there. I need to see it with at NBA speed with those guys. So 6 or 7 boards, and I'm with the 2 blocks part. I think him averaging 1.5 to 3 blocks is like what I'm seeing because he's 7'5" and can contest shots like when they played the Hornets in the summer league.
Yeah.
Brandon Miller took a step back on him and he closed the gap automatically. Like that's some real go gadget type of stuff that I see from Victor Wembanyama. Like I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like just to actually watch the Spurs on League Pass. Like
That's the
it's gonna
other
be great.
that's the other thing too, dude. It's like the excitement levels. That's what Wembanyama is bringing to the NBA as well. Yeah, like you're bringing the eyes, like I said, but like League Pass, like there are a handful of teams I watch. Like obviously the Celtics. I like watching Cleveland last year. I thought that was a fun team to watch. The Lakers, just I I'm not obviously I'm not an LA guy, but I've always been a LeBron guy. True, I will be the first to say that I've always liked LeBron. I've never been a LeBron hater, so I've always liked following him. I respect greatness, and I like to watch him before he retires one day because I know that day is coming sometime soon. So I want to take advantage of that. But the San Antonio Spurs are now a team that like you're going to get people investing in League Pass just to watch Victor Wembanyama play. This isn't just like you have to look at this from different perspectives. Think of like the money that he's going to bring into the NBA too. We have to look at this from a business perspective, jersey sales, ticket sales. As soon as the San Antonio Spurs won the draft lottery, their season ticket holder, like they sold out of all their season tickets and stuff. All these tickets were flying off the shelves, jerseys and this and that. Just the impact that he makes not only on the court but off the court as well is insane. And I'm
Right.
just excited to just watch it from the beginning. I'm very excited to be able to watch and follow this guy's career as it happens because again, this is what could be a generational player, once in a lifetime player. Genuinely, that's his potential, once in a lifetime, which is you don't come across that a whole
Every
lot.
20 years. Every
Every
20 years you
every
see.
10 20, the last guy, LeBron, right? I don't think I mean you have a few guys that got the hype levels like Zion I said earlier, but no, the last guy was LeBron. And now it's Wembanyama. He has a lot to live up to, but I'm very optimistic and I'm hopeful that he will be able to reach that potential because that potential is all-time great status, which is insane to think about. But I hope nothing but the best for Wemby, the Spurs. Do you think now kind of like keeping on the topic, what do you think Wembanyama's impact will be for the Spurs record wise? Because last year, let me pull up, they were I want to say they were the 14th seed. I think they were 14 because I think Houston was last. Oh no, San Antonio. Oh, them and Houston were tied for last. So San Antonio finished tied for last in the Western Conference. Where do you see them finishing this year? Do you think the impact of Wembanyama is going to be big enough where they can potentially compete for a playing spot, or do you think they're still going to kind of float around the bottom of the pack in the West and kind of get another high draft pick next year and then go from there?
Yeah, I think the best case scenario for them is competing for a playing spot. I don't think they're a playoff team outright. I don't think they're in the top six
I agree.
with Memphis, Clippers, well, both LA teams really. Obviously, the Nuggets who just won a title, Phoenix
Sacramento,
and
even.
Sacramento and Golden State, who I think will be back in the mix as well.
Yep.
So definitely best case scenario is like a 9 to 10 seed or something like that. But I think realistically, I think we still see them net themselves a lottery pick next season.
Yeah.
I can see them winning around 30 to 35 games, but I it's really just one of those wait and see kind of projects with Wimby to me. And plus the injury risk is still a thing, right?
Right.
Can Wimby actually play the full grind of an 82 game season? College kids play about 30 games, like minus tournament time. Obviously, he was a pro basketball player since he was 17, 16, or whatever it was. But they don't play 82 games over there.
No.
So how many games is he going to play? Are they going to load manage him? Pop is the king of load management. He
Yes,
was
he
doing it
is.
with Tony Parker and TD and all those guys during his dynasty run. So I don't know how many games he's actually going to play. How often is he going to be available? So that's where I'm kind of tripping up on. I don't think I'm gonna give him the playing distinction. I think they're around a 12 seed. I think they win around 30 to 35 games, but probably still net themselves a lottery pick in the top 10 next year, I think.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the standings. Like the Rockets, I do think the Rockets are have. I mean, they've signed some big free agents this offseason. I think that they're going to make improvements. The Blazers, all comes down to what happens with Lillard. Utah, they started off hot last year, finished as the 12th seed. Dallas had a big slip up. Even OKC, I mean, they finished as the 9th seed, but they're a team that, that's a type of team that San Antonio Spurs can like look to like match them and stay at their level. But there are a lot of really good teams in the West, like we mentioned: Denver, Memphis, Sacramento, Phoenix, both LA teams, Golden State, Minnesota, New Orleans. We mentioned was a number 1 seed when Zion was healthy, and like the Jazz were good to start the year. Then the Mavericks missed out, and they're supposed to be good. There's a lot of good teams in the West. I'm with you. I think best case scenario for this year is the play-in. It's very, very hard for me to imagine the Spurs being any higher than a 9 or 10 seed. And I mean, unless Wembanyama like just completely breaks out his rookie year and he has no injuries and the Spurs just click, like everything is just like he was the missing piece. We're ready to go. Kind of like OKC last year.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you not even a single Oklahoma City Thunder fan thought that they would make the play-in game. It was just the direction that they're going down. It just wasn't expected, which is not a bad thing. You have a very young team, a lot of draft picks because of the star players that you traded. You're not supposed to be good. But guess what? They were the 9th seed. They even won a game in the play-in because Shai Gilgeous was a fucking monster. Wembanyama could make the same impact. I mean, I think it's far fetched, and I think it's a big reach for that to happen. But man, you never know. You never know. But I do think that they will be around playing team. I don't think that they'll be a top 6 lock for the playoffs. But that's the beauty of basketball. You never know. So we'll have to wait and see there.
What I could say before we
Yeah.
do move on, I just had to look it up, like where they were defensively, and they were literally dead last, 30th in defensive rating last year.
Mm.
So that is one thing I foresee changing. And defense, despite what Kevin Durant thinks, does win you games and championships. So
Yeah.
I could foresee the Spurs taking a little leap. Like you said, best case scenario, like we both said, best case, 9 to 10 seed, but I think they're a lottery team.
What are you talking about? For offense wins championships, you have to score. You have
You
to
got to
score.
stop
You have
people.
to score more points, bro. That's how you win. You have to score
I
more.
think I think the big part that KD forgot
Mhm.
to mention, even if you are an offensive driven team like those Golden State Warriors teams that he was on,
Mhm.
they were still top 5 defensively. But
They were really
it's
good.
more so about timely stops if you're an elite offensive team. If you're on the other side of the ball, you can't, if you're up by 2 and you need to stop them from, or you're up by 1 rather, and you need to stop them from scoring, what are you going to wait to get the ball back? You're going to let them score?
Yeah. You got to play
Okay.
defense. Hey, listen. I love Kevin Durant on Twitter. I just want to point that out. The guy has a lot of free time, and I love what he does with it.
Absolutely.